Hello, welcome to 15minuteguitar.com. In today's video, we're going to talk to you about the capo, or capo, depending on which way you pronounce it. Okay, so I think I call it a capo. I think an American way is probably capo. It's just the way you pronounce it. Okay, so don't get too hung up on that. What is a capo or a capo? A capo is this here. Okay, this instrument here. Different varieties of that. This is sort of probably more of a higher end of the market one. This one's probably about £25–30 for this capo. Then you've got some are sort of like £5–10. They normally work on like a spring-loaded system where you sort of press it to open it up, clamp it onto the fretboard and let it go, and it presses down on the guitar. Those work just as well, but I just find these, you can set your own amount of pressure. Sometimes those have a tendency to be too tight, depending on the guitar, and can push the guitar out of tune a little bit too much. I also find that the system, the mechanism, over a period of time tends to break. And I had a really funny lesson once where it wasn't funny for the student because he actually got upset about it, but they pressed the capo and the clamp just broke, the spring went across the room and the capo just fell to pieces. And they got upset, and I just explained to them that, you know, it's just the system's failed, it's nothing they've done. But, you know, if you invest in a decent capo, it should last you a lifetime. So that's what capo is. There's three main functions to it, which you've probably seen in the video that I did earlier, the demo video I did. One of them, the most important I think, is say you've spent, I don't know, a few days practicing this chord progression. You know, the chord progression might go D, okay, just three chords. Say you spent a few days on that, just getting that absolutely spot on, sounding really good. Turn up to band practice, really confident. You got your D, A, and the G sounding absolutely superb. And then a singer says to you, "I can't sing in that key, Rich." And then you think, "Oh no." Either, if you're very clever, you can just transpose that on the fly. If you're more of an advanced guitarist, which is, you know, a thing to do, and we can all do that. If you're a beginner guitarist, that might sort of startle you a little bit and think, "Oh no, what can I do? Quick, what can I do?" and start to panic a little bit. So, if you've got one of these trusty tools in your gig bag, which all guitarists should do, if you keep one of these in your gig bag, very quickly you can change the key of the music without having to relearn your part. Okay, so you said the chords. I said to you the chords were D, A, and G, and the singer says, "Sorry, that's too low, Rich. I can't sing that key. You know, when I get to the chorus, I need it. It's just too low." So, what you can do, and by popping it on fret 1, you can go up the fretboard, and you're going up a key now. Okay, so that's gone up a key, and you literally keep going until the singer says, "Yeah, that's the spot, that's it." So you keep going up. It sounds different, okay, but the chord shapes are exactly the same. So we go from this. And we keep going up until we hit that perfect spot where the singer says, "Yes, that's the spot, that's the key. Happy with that. I can reach all the notes in the chorus and that sort of stuff. I'm happy, and I've got room to maneuver either side." And we keep going until we find that, okay? So that's important. That's number one, I would say. Number two, if you're a beginner guitarist and you've encountered bar chords in a song, you know, this is a way around that, okay? So if you can't play bar chords and your bar chords sound a little bit sort of muffled or muted and they're not quite clear and you're not confident to play them, then a capo will get you out of that situation. A capo basically becomes your barring finger. So if you imagine you're barring like here on, say, the 5th fret, and you're trying to do an A major bar chord, you know, and you can't do that. It's just clacking. You're getting this sort of not a clear chord. Then you could use the capo to be your barring finger and pop it on fret 5. And then now, imagine that shape in the air. So sort of trying to imagine that shape like that, but you take that finger off. So it now becomes an E chord, actually. It becomes an E shape here. Okay, so it'll allow you to do open chord shapes without encountering bar chords. So that's really important. So if you're struggling with bar chords, a capo is a great way for you to just very quickly just be able to play a part. All I would say is try not to use it as like a you know, avoidance technique. So you're not trying to do bar chords because you're using a capo all the time. Obviously learn the bar chords, but just if it's a quick solution, use a capo. Okay. One thing to say as well with the capo is it becomes the new nut of your guitar. Okay, if you're not sure what the nut is, it's this part here down the guitar, this black bit on this guitar. it becomes the new nut. So wherever you put the capo, it's a bit like, you imagine you've popped it on there. It's a bit like you've sawn the guitar. Don't do this. You've sawn the guitar off there, so you forget this bit. This is now your guitar, starting from this is the nut. So that is fret 1, fret 2, fret 3, fret 4, okay? One thing to remember and to really think about when you're doing this is us guitarists like to talk in shapes. And so I say to you a D shape, an A shape, and a G shape, okay? Straight away you're going to go, I know what those are. Those are open chords, okay? So I say capo fret 5, play me a D, A, and a G. So you're That's great, okay? Talking to guitarists, that works really well. Where that doesn't work is if you're talking to a pianist or you're talking to somebody else and you say, yeah, it's just a D, A, and a G, mate. And they go, okay, D, A, and G. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't sound right. It's not in the right key. And you're thinking, well, it must work because it's D, A, and G. What you need to know and be aware of is it is a D, and A, and a G shape, but it's now not a D and an A, G chord in terms of like tonality, what it sounds like. It's not those chords anymore. So it's a D shape, okay? And you hit it from the D string. What's really important now to see is the root note now is on here, which is actually, that's a G major now, okay? Because the root note is now on the 5th fret of the D string there, okay? And that's a G major chord. Was it A I went to? Yeah, I went to A next, didn't I? So A, that's now a D chord, okay? Because the lowest note you hit there is on the 5th fret of the A string, so that's now a D chord. And then our G, which is our trusty G that we think is now a G, is actually a C, okay? Because the lowest note we hit here is a C note there, all right? So just be aware. So just to even know that is just really handy to know that when you're talking to a guitarist, you can literally say capo fret 3, it's a D, a G, and a C shape. Great. If you're talking to a pianist, you would have to change that and you'd have to get the right chords, otherwise what they're playing will not tally up with what you're playing. Okay, so it's really handy to know that little tip. And nobody taught me that. I had to find that out myself, okay? So I had to find that out the hard way. So that's just something to think about. And then the other reason for a capo is to make the part more interesting, okay? So for instance, if we did like Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, classic track, if I play it down this end of the guitar, so sounds all right, but it doesn't sound like Here Comes the Sun, does it? So, and the reason is because the song was written with a capo, okay? So I pop the capo on fret number 7. I think it was actually written on 12 string as well, but capo on 7, and then play the same chord shapes I just played down there. Have a listen now. And that straight away you're thinking, that's Here Comes the Sun, you know, that's the right sound for that song. So that's another reason a song might be written with a capo, so that's the reason why you use a capo, because they want that sound. What the capo gives you is a lovely sort of, you know, open chords have a specific quality when you're using open strings in chords. It just gives you a really nice sort of airy, sort of really lovely sound that you don't get when you use a bar chord, okay? So if you still want to keep that open chord quality, but change the key, that's where the capo comes into place. And you just get a really sort of a really nice high, very much like a, you know, like a ukulele or a mandolin sort of sound, you know, really sort of nice high-pitched sound, which is quite cool. And just another thing to mention, if you had two guitarists in the band, one's rhythm, one's lead, instead of you just both playing like a D, an A, and a G chord the whole time, maybe you'd get like a left and right stereo sound by doing that, but it'd be more interesting if one of you played like a D, A, and the G, and then everyone played using a capo or something just to change the register of the chords you're playing, so it makes it more interesting to the listener. So that's just another way to think about the capo. I hope that's helped you out. As I said, this is one of those sort of grey areas on guitar, I think, and no one ever told me what a capo was. I had to figure out myself. I think, what is this actually doing to the guitar when I put it on? And I did some research and found out, you know, how it works. But it's a very sort of grey area, and not a lot of people that I teach or, you know, that I, you know, work with sometimes can understand or explain how a capo works. So I really hope this helps you, you know, make sense of the capo, and you'll be a bit more clued up on it when, you know, when you use it in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Don't forget to watch us on our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out www.15minuteguitar.com. Cheers.